What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create the exclusive Ace emblem in Infinite Warfare. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so I asked you guys last week if you wanted to see this, and a ton of people were saying yes, absolutely, they want to rock this emblem, and I really appreciate that, by the way. If you guys are rocking this emblem, that is great. If I happen to see you in-game, if I just run into you randomly, and I have the time, if I see you rocking this logo, I will definitely send you an invite, and we'll play a few games together. So let's hop right into this. I'm basically just going to show off my layers because it does take a lot of time to get the exact shape just right, and I don't want to do that live. That would take far too long to do live. And I feel like it's something I can more so just show you what you need to do, and then you guys can take the time to make sure you get the shapes just right. So first up, we have our background. This could actually be whatever layer you want, and it could be any shape you want. Just make it cover the entire background. I just went with a gray shape. I feel like it just blends in better with my emblem, but really, you could choose any color. You could go yellow, you could go red, you could go blue. It doesn't really matter, but I just went with a nice dark gray here. So that is our background layer. Then we want to go... I just got to get to the next layer. I'm still not 100% familiar with this emblem maker, so I might make a few little mistakes here. We have 3 circles. The first circle is the biggest one, and this one is going to be a black circle. It'll give us that nice little border around the logo. Then we've got a white one, so we're just going to basically duplicate it, size it down a little bit, and turn it white. And that one's going to be a decent size, as you can see there. And then finally on the inside, we have our inside background color, which is a nice little blue. Again, this is something you could change up if you want. I'm not necessarily set on having blue for my logo. So it could be whatever you want. You'll just have to make sure the other shape, which we're going to get into a little bit, will match this inside color. But I do like that blue. So next up, we have the more difficult shape. I would say this is one of the more difficult shapes to create. Oh, and I just screwed it up. Oh no. Discard changes. Let's get back into there. There's no undo button, which I don't like. I would love to see an undo button here. You can kind of see that shape kind of flashing through there. This is going to be, I think it's like an eyebrow shape is what it's meant to be. And we're going to go with that one. And make sure you use your free scale tool in order to get this perfect shape. You want it to come down past outside of the circle there and then come up into that nice little shape. Don't worry about the black shape next to it, the layer next to it. Don't worry about these black ones yet. It's the same with all these ones. The black ones I'll talk about later, so just the white ones that we're worried about. But once you create that shape, I also created the rest of the X, and with this one we use these golf flags here. I think they're called golf flags, but so you can see the top part of the X there, the top left. It's the same shape going into the top right. You just have to move it around and use that free scale. In order to go to the free scale, you hit R3 and it'll go to that free scale for you so you can get that perfect shape. And just try to take it to the edges of the circle that I have, the exact parts on the circle. It does take some time to get things lined up, but once you do, it will end up looking pretty nice. And the same thing goes to the bottom part of the X. It's just that golf flag sort of shape, and you just create the X like that. Once you do that, though, you're going to have this big tail sticking out here. If you didn't have this part right here, that's what you would see, this big tail sticking out the side. So you do have to cover that up by just creating any kind of shape you want that'll cover that up, essentially. I just went with a rounded rectangle, and then you just make that rounded shape go above that initial layer, the tail of the X that comes off to the left, and just make that the same as your inside background color, and there you go. That'll get your X completed. And then we move on to the A, which, again, we're just using these golf flag shapes for the A. There's not too many different shapes and unique shapes for this. Although they are unique in the sense that you have to do a free scale and get the sizing just right. And it doesn't always match up perfectly, but hey, I think I did a pretty good job at this. You can see it's not 100% perfect, but it is quite difficult. Once you get to the inside of the A, I went with 2 little golf flag things, and then I went with a rounded rectangle here just because there was a gap left over, so rounded rectangle to fill that in. Essentially just create that nice A shape as well as the X shape there. And then we get into the shadows. This is what makes it really pop in my mind. It looks okay if you don't do the black part, but if you do this simple little step after you create the XA, I think it makes it look a whole lot nicer. So basically with these black shapes, what you do is find the white shape that corresponds to that letter, and then just duplicate it, put it underneath there, and you get the black shape. I did it again. Crap. Discard. And we go back into it. But you get the black shape here. All you do is once you get that black shape, we're not changing the size at all. We just move it down and over a little bit. Just helps that lettering pop out of the background of the logo, and I think it looks really nice if you end up doing that. So just as an example here, we have this white shape. So this one right here, Try and put it back. I'm not going to save this one properly. So what we would do is we duplicate that in order to get the black shape next to it. Oh god, it's so difficult to get it just right. Okay, so we duplicate it, and then we get this black shape, which is this one here, and we just kind of move it just a little bit off of where we were, and as you can see, it creates a nice little shadow effect right there. And once you get all of that done, you end up with a pretty nice looking logo, I think anyways. I think this one turned out really nice. It's my favorite one so far out of the past years that we've had the custom emblem editor. I've always done this emblem in the past, but I changed it up just a little bit with those shadows and everything, and I feel like it turned out quite nice. So again, if you guys choose to rock this logo, I would really appreciate that, first of all, because it represents the channel, and I think that's great. And I think it's always cool running into people that use that logo as well. Even if you don't use it regularly, but you have it saved, and then if you happen to potentially run into me in a lobby, make sure you pop that on and be like, hey, I got your logo as my emblem. I will definitely send you an invite as long as I'm not busy. Sometimes I just have to hop on and record like one gameplay, and then I gotta go real quick. But if I happen to be free, I will definitely send you an invite, and I hope you guys enjoy using my emblem. So there we have it. That's going to wrap it up for this one. I'd love to see, for those of you guys that follow me on Twitter, and if you haven't already, I will leave a link down in the description below. As always, I would love it if you guys create this custom emblem and tweet it to me. I would definitely retweet it for you guys, and I'd love to see if you guys want to put a little bit of a twist on it to maybe like make it look a little bit better than it already does. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.